play for all.
This video walks through every part of Catch-It V2's code, so you feel ready to support students during Lesson 1's Predict and Run, even if this is your first time seeing block-based code. The game starts as you think, with the set of blocks within the on-start block. Notice the C shape of this green block? These blocks are event blocks that the program monitors and waits to happen. Once the event occurs, the code within it is run from the top down. Here, the game creates a score element or variable starting with no points. It also creates a life element with a value of 3. A variable called game speed is created and given the amount of 60. Think of a variable like a bucket that can store information like numbers and words. Next, we create our first sprite or game character. It is called Paddle and is placed on the screen at the coordinates of 80 and 108 in the X and Y plane. The game screen has a pixel size of 160 across and 120 down. The top left corner has the 00 coordinate, while the bottom left has the 160-120 coordinate. The next block is used to make sure the paddle will not move off the screen when the buttons are pressed. We then set the background color of the screen to black. Clicking inside the oval will open up the color picker menu to select a different color. The splash block is used to show lines of text on the screen. Clicking the A button will remove the text and start the game. Now, let's take a look at the purple on-game update event. Blocks in this event will run every 1,200 milliseconds, or 1.2 seconds. This means that every 1.2 seconds, we create a second sprite called Star that has the image of a star. Clicking on the oval image will open the sprite editor. You can make your own or pick from the many pre-made images in the gallery. Just like the paddle sprite, we now place the star in a position on the screen. Except this time, the program will pick a random horizontal starting position, but always from the top of the screen. The next block sets the Y velocity of the star. This means how fast the star will move in the Y-axis. In our case, it is set to the game speed amount. That you'll remember we created in the on-start block and set to 60. The auto-destroy feature is then turned on for the star. This means that once the star moves out of the screen, it will be removed from the game. This last part gets a little tricky. The if-then block is what's called a conditional. Only if the condition is met, the code inside will run. We will take a closer look at the pause functionality in another set of blocks. The next 4 blocks work as 2 pairs. When left is pressed, the paddle's horizontal speed, Vx, goes negative. When left is released, it drops back to 0. Right does the same thing in the positive direction. Together, they're the only thing that lets a player move the paddle. We're now going to take a look at the collision events. Collisions occur when 2 sprites come in contact with each other. In this case, we are looking at the paddle sprite, which is a kind of player, and the star sprite, which is a kind of enemy. The star's type changes to success. This is done to make sure the game can tell the difference between a star that was caught and one that made it through. The game then gives the player visual feedback of smiley faces on the paddle. It then removes the star sprite and adds 1 point to the score. Audio feedback is given with a short tone. The destroy sprite set of blocks is triggered when the star, which is a kind of enemy, is destroyed by navigating to the end of the screen. Audio feedback is given with a short tone. Visual feedback is given with a fire animation. Clicking on the plus button on the block will show additional options for the block. In this case, how long the animation should last for. The last block will have the player lose one of their lives. The on life 0 set of blocks are triggered once the player has used up all their lives. The game over block runs either a win or lose animation. In our case, the player will lose. In order to pause and restart the game, we use the when menu button is pressed event. Here, the variable called is paused toggles the pause functionality on and off. If the toggle is on, the pause menu message will appear. When looking at the code to predict and run, Select as many or as few segments based on your level of comfort and available time. The idea is to get your students to start feeling confident in reading and understanding what code can do. Next up, check out the walkthrough video that revisits this code with some ideas on how to investigate and modify the code for some deeper exploration.